The royal kids step out for their very first red carpet as the royal family reunites.
And they are masters of the coordinated but not matchy family outfit. I mean, take your notes, people, for your Christmas cards this year.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced a mega deal with Spotify as Meghan makes her first appearance since revealing she suffered a heartbreaking miscarriage.
Should we start? No? Ladies first?
No, say it, because I think it sounds really nice with your accent.
What, Archwell Audio?
Yeah.
Archwell Audio.
I mean...
Really?
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Plus, Marie Claire contributor Kayleigh Roberts helps us break down a typical royal Christmas.
Prince Philip is also said to be really insistent on putting the tree topper, like the gold star that they put on top of the tree, on himself every year, which I think is kind of adorable. I think a lot of families probably have a family member who really kind of takes that on as their job. And so it's kind of nice that the royals have that as well.
We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Hello to our fellow royal lovers and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, that's Molly, the host of the Diva Behavior Podcast. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Christina. Merry almost Christmas.
Merry almost Christmas. We are almost there, and we're going to talk about what a royal Christmas, a typical royal Christmas would look like for the royal family, not in the year 2020, but what it would look like otherwise. So we're excited to talk to Kayleigh all about that coming up. But before we get to all of that, we have to check in with our royal viewers, our royal watchers, who had a lot to say about last week's show. So kicking it off with Dee Dee says, whatever the outcome of how the interview was achieved, Princess Diana spoke her truth. Now, this is, of course, talking about our conversation with KJ last week about the investigation going on into the Panorama interview with Princess Diana back in 1995.
Right. This is such an interesting thing to think about because I guess there's one school of thought that if Martin Bashir hadn't nabbed this interview, maybe Diana would have stayed in the royal family. But I also think, like this commenter said, the truth would have come out one way or another, right?
Yeah. No matter how it came out, it was going to get there, but probably wasn't the right way to go about it in Martin Bashir's case, but it was definitely out there. Daniel said, Diana, in her own words, is just her side of the story. No one side of the story is the whole truth. That is true.
Sure. Yeah.
We have to agree with that one. Last one comes from Sabina, says, you guys are biased and so quick to defend Meghan, but not so quick to defend Duchess Kate. I have to disagree with that. I feel like we love all royals and we just kind of give you guys the facts. And I love Duchess Kate. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I didn't wake up at 4 a.m. to watch her wedding to be accused of being biased against her. So I just want the record to show that I love Kate. I love her fashion. Yeah. And I'm a fan of both.
We are fans of both. And speaking of Kate, we're actually going to kick off the show with her and her family. So let's talk about our royal roundup, our royal news of the week. And I absolutely love this because George, Charlotte, and Louis made their royal carpet debut. What did you think about this?
It was so adorable. It just really brightened my day. It was so good to see them walking on the red carpet. They were going to see a performance of the pantomime, which is a British tradition. Every year there's sort of like a farcical play that they put on for Christmas every year. And I guess people were afraid it wouldn't happen this year, but they were able to sort of boost morale by attending a pantomime at the Palladium in London.
And I thought their choices of outfits were great for their first red carpet appearance. They looked adorable. And I think Prince Louis was wearing a Prince George hand-me-down, which is typical for them.
Love that. So relatable. And they are masters of the coordinated but not matchy family outfit. I mean, take your notes, people, for your Christmas cards this year.
Seriously, they do it well. And this was the first time that they were sitting in the royal box. So what exactly does that mean?
So the royal box is a special section of the Palladium where royals have been sitting for, decades, centuries, and it's really ornate and beautiful. If you look it up online, you can see some closer up photos of the inside of the Palladium and the royal box, and it's just a really special tradition.
I love that. And I know William gave a little speech beforehand thanking everybody for, the first responders and everything that happened this year. So it was nice that they were able to have this outing and kind of return to a little bit of normalcy before the holidays.
Right. And before London went into a second lockdown as of Tuesday, or a third lockdown, actually. Yeah. So it's like getting whiplash, seeing the different things that are going on.
Right. It's like one step forward, 10 steps back. It's just, this year needs to end.
One of the things my husband and I have always talked about is our passion for meeting people and hearing their stories. And no matter what the story, they usually offer you an understanding of where someone else is coming from. And at the same time, remind you in some way of a story about yourself.
And that's what this project is all about, to bring forward different perspectives and voices that perhaps you haven't heard before.
So Prince Harry and Meghan also announced that they are doing a huge deal with Spotify. Now, this is a multi-year deal that will have them producing original audio programming. They're going to be hosting podcasts, and the goal is to build community through shared experience, narratives, and values. Now, the first podcast series is expected to premiere in 2021, but before then, the companies will release a holiday special hosted by Harry and Meghan, featuring stories of hope and compassion in celebration of the new year. Now, in a statement, they said, "What we love about podcasting is that it reminds us all to take a moment and to really listen, to connect to one another without distraction." They added, "With the challenges of 2020, there has never been a more important time to do so, because when we hear each other and hear each other's stories, we are reminded of how interconnected we all are." Well, before they stepped out on the red carpet, Kate and William actually concluded their royal train tour, which we talked a bit about last week, but they stopped at Windsor Castle to reunite with the entire royal family, which I feel like we haven't seen in a really long time.
Yeah, and this was like, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, because seeing the way that the lineup of the royal family sort of has changed. I mean, obviously, one of the Queen's sons, Prince Andrew, was not in attendance.
Right.
And then they added in the Earl and Countess of Wessex, who we don't usually see in such a, you know, prominent place. So it was really interesting to see who kind of counts as the primary members of the royal family right now.
Right. Who's making the cut and who's not. It's definitely changing a lot from, you know, even like you said, this time last year, we saw Prince Andrew. We would have seen Meghan and Harry at this time last year, but a lot of things have changed, and, you know, that's just how it goes. Are you kind of surprised that nobody was wearing masks?
I am actually really surprised, because I think it gives people a false sense of security. You know, I mean, I saw these photos of them not wearing masks, and I think it makes people feel like they don't have to wear masks. And while things were trending in a good way over the summer, now the UK is back in a third lockdown. So the choice to go out to several events over the course of the past week, when the royal family probably knew that another lockdown was coming, is really puzzling to me. What about you?
I thought so too. Even when they stepped out on the red carpet, I saw a lot of people were commenting like, "Oh, how come they're not wearing masks?" It seems like that should be, you know, they are these public figures. They're the ones that are setting these examples for a lot of people. And if they're not doing, people are probably like, well, if they're not doing it, why should I do it? So, you know, they got to kind of set that example, because they are in the public eye. But I do wonder if they are going to be kind of first in line to be getting the vaccine, especially the Queen, since she is kind of in that age bracket where she would be one of the first to get it.
Right. According to reports, the Queen and Prince Philip are going to wait their turn. They're not going to get preferential treatment. So I guess, you know, they have an easy time staying away from people because they have gigantic castles to live in. So it kind of makes sense.
They have,
but yeah,
castles.
Right.
Totally. All right. Well, Kate might have something else to celebrate, because her younger sister Pippa is expecting her second child. So that's very exciting.
Yes, this is exciting. Pippa announced, well, sources confirmed her pregnancy, her second pregnancy. She already has a 2-year-old son named Arthur. And Arthur was born just a few months before Archie was born, which is really cute. I don't know if they've ever met or had a play date. I'm sure that will happen at some point in the future. So apparently the Middleton family is thrilled with this news.
I'm sure that is very exciting. Another little playmate, which I'm sure is adorable. So that's very exciting. Well, let's talk a little bit more about Meghan, because she made her first appearance since she revealed that she suffered a miscarriage earlier this year. She appeared in a segment for CNN Heroes, an all-star tribute. So take a look at this.
Tonight, we are celebrating these quiet heroes, some of whom I know, and others that we applaud from afar. These individuals stood up and made sure the most basic needs of our communities were met. They made sure that those around them did not have to suffer in isolation. They nourished their neighbors in more ways than one.
I mean, it's, she's talking all about how people are so hungry this time of year, not just this time of year, this entire year, and how this pandemic has really put a lot of people in harm's way and a lot of trouble, and a lot of people are in need this holiday season. And, I feel like Harry and Meghan have done their part in giving back since they've been in LA as well.
Yeah, they have helped deliver food to people in need. And I think the great thing about this speech was that it's such a continuation of the things that Meghan has already done around food. Like on the TIG, she was a food blogger.
Wow.
Then she helped the victims of the Grenfell fire with that cookbook that she did. And now she's handing out food. And she did her speech was so great because it didn't just talk about the physical need of food, it talked about the emotions behind it. And I just thought it was such a great way to sort of tie a bow around all the work that she's done and everything that's gone on this year.
Right. Say what you will about her. She's done some good things and has given back to a lot of people. And speaking of the TIG, we actually have we've uncovered some of her holiday trends that she loved when she wrote about back in the day. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But you may want to get your tissues ready for this one, because Prince Harry granted 3 award winners the ultimate surprise. I love the story. The Duke of Sussex appeared virtually in a new video courtesy of the Well Child Organization, a national UK charity that gives children and young people with serious illness the best chance to thrive at home with their family. So take a look at this.
Katie, was that your year?
Yes, it was. I was there too.
I don't know if you can see who's just joined us, guys.
Hi guys, nice to see you all again.
Oh wow.
Hello.
I don't even recognize some of you since it's been, 2, maybe even 3 years for some of you. How are you guys doing?
Good, thanks.
I love the genuine look of surprise on these kids' faces. It's so nice. It really is.
Yeah, it's really cute to watch them one by one realize what's going on in their faces. Like, it's so adorable.
It really is. It's so nice for him to give back during this time. And a lot of these kids that he talked to, he's actually talked to a couple of years ago. So he's kind of catching up and seeing how they're doing and how they are thriving at home.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that. And one of them, Evie Toombs, she talked about the previous award ceremony when she had met with Harry and Meghan, and she said how nervous she was, but how great it ended up being because it was just such a positive event.
I love that. I love that. Definitely a good time to give back. Well, when Harry and Meghan finally head back to London, if and when that ever happens, they will have some more room at Frogmore Cottage since Princess Eugenie and her husband, Jax Brooksbank, moved out. Now, this is kind of surprising because I feel like we just talked about them moving in, and just a few weeks later, they're like, all right, we're gone.
Yeah, they were only there for 6 weeks, and it's not really clear why they moved out, right?
No.
And my favorite quote from a royal source was, a royal source said to the Sun, "Why does no one want to live in Frogmore Cottage? What's wrong with the place?"
Right. Wasn't it like just newly renovated? It's got to be beautiful.
I know. I mean, I'll take it.
Seriously. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe they were doing some renovations at their place and they just needed to kind of leave for a little while, or maybe they just wanted a change of scenery for a few weeks. Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, now it is time to spill the royalty, and let's continue talking about Harry and Meghan, because it seems like they are on better terms with the royal family. I mean, we've been talking about this for a couple months, that it seems like things are slowly progressing and slowly getting better, but Vanity Fair is reporting that things are on the up and up.
Which is great news for the holidays. Apparently, Meghan and Harry have sent presents to William and Kate and their children, and everything is just, going a lot better for them. So that's great.
Yeah, and it seems like he's actually enjoying life in California. Misses his royal life a little bit, but probably not as much as maybe people would have thought.
Right. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that California weather compared to the UK. No offense, UK, but there's definitely a lot to be said for California too.
Totally. Yeah, no, that's true. I'm sure he looks at them bundled up in their coats and it's freezing, it's raining, and he's like, oh, I'm underneath a palm tree right now. So I'm enjoying it. Well, I'm sure they're going to enjoy their California Christmas. And like we said earlier, we actually uncovered some of Meghan's old holiday tips that she shared while she was writing her blog, The TIG. So what did we uncover? What did she have to say back in the day about getting together for the holidays?
She has so many tips, and they go from tablescapes to decorations. And believe it or not, I actually made the cocktail that she suggests earlier this week. Yeah, the almond milk spiced holiday cocktail. I would say it was actually a little bland. If you're going to try it yourself, add some more spice, maybe some hazelnut syrup or something. But it's pretty easy and it's fun to try. So
I feel like she should bring this back. I think like she has a lot of good tips, and you know, it seems like something that she was really passionate about and something that she enjoyed doing. So, I mean, why not?
Right. And I was really surprised by her suggestion for an all-white tablescape because it's just not very festive. It's very like Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's house.
It definitely is. It definitely doesn't put you in the holiday spirit, but who knows? Maybe she dresses it up with, you know, everything around it. So I'm sure whatever she does, it's going to be beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, last week we broke down the investigation into the BBC's interview with Princess Diana, like we talked about earlier. But this week, a letter written by Diana is expected to become an important piece of evidence. Now, this is interesting. So what do we know about this letter?
So this letter was written by Diana, like you said, and apparently it says that she had a great experience with Martin Bashir. She has nothing but praise for him. And somehow the letter says that she was never shown documents to persuade her to take part in the interview. And I'm just like, what? Why would that be mentioned in this letter, right? It seems really like a very convenient thing to mention.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like, oh, we just uncovered this. Take a look. It just seems very odd that she would mention something like that, because why would that ever come up in conversation if, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense. I can't imagine that that's probably a win for Martin Bashir, because I'm sure if we think it's fishy, I'm sure a lot of other people will too.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm excited to, not excited, but I'm looking forward to getting more details because it's confusing.
It really is. It's very, very confusing. And we'll continue to break it down every single week as more information comes in. But with the holidays right around the corner, we thought it would be fun to break down the royal rules to find out what a traditional royal Christmas would look like. And to help us do that is Marie Claire contributor, Kayleigh Roberts.
So during a normal royal Christmas, what does the day typically look like?
Yeah, so typically Royal Christmas is actually like a 3-day affair. The Queen and Prince Philip actually usually arrive at Sandringham about a week early to just kind of prepare to host the event. And then when everyone shows up, they're actually doing Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas. And they're really spending that entire kind of 3-day period together, just indulging in a lot of family time and traditions. So
I thought it was interesting in an article you wrote that it depends on your rank, I guess, and when you arrive at Sandringham, correct?
Yeah, so, you know, reportedly, the royal family hasn't released any, you know, official list of the order in which people arrive, but the royals are said to be given very specific, like, time periods that they're supposed to arrive at Sandringham during, and then it's in order of seniority. So the most senior royals, like Prince Charles and Prince William and his family, would arrive last and kind of, you know, I guess build to that grand finish. And then once everyone's there, the real festivities begin.
I love that.
Yeah. So formal.
I know, it's really formal.
It doesn't happen like that in my house.
No, like show up whenever you want.
So how important is the royal Christmas card to the Queen?
Yeah, so the royal Christmas card is one of the most longstanding royal traditions that there is, really. The royals send them out every year. The Queen's personal Christmas card list has about 750 people on it, so it's a huge undertaking, and the cards that go out are signed by Elizabeth and her husband, Prince Philip, and it's a really special thing to be on that Christmas card list because typically a royal Christmas card includes a picture of the royal family, and sometimes it's a really special kind of never-before-seen picture, which is what we saw this year with Prince William and Kate Middleton. They actually released a like previously unseen picture of their entire family. So it was a new picture with Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis, all of them. It was really adorable. So it can be a really fun moment, even for people who aren't on the Christmas card list, because obviously the Christmas cards usually end up online somewhere now. So thanks, Internet.
What are some of the traditions that they have when the royal family does get together?
Yeah, when the royal family gets together, they actually reportedly have a lot of the same kinds of traditions that a lot of families do. You know, one of their favorite traditions is said to be decorating the Christmas tree together, and they They're, said to put on the finishing touches of their Christmas tree. Obviously, because it's a royal Christmas tree, it's not exactly like what most of us do. Some of the decorations that they put on include royal heirlooms, like some glass angels that come from Queen Victoria that just are always supposed to be on the tree, according to a lot of reports from the palace. Prince Philip is also said to be really insistent on putting the tree topper, like the gold star that they put on top of the tree, on himself every year, which I think is kind of adorable. I think a lot of families probably have a family member who really kind of takes that on as their job. And so it's kind of nice that the royals have that as well. And then there are other, other traditions as well, including like Prince William and Prince Harry are said to play like a Christmas Eve soccer game with that includes some of the staff at the Sandringham estate. So it's a really, kind of mix of traditions, from really traditional stuff to kind of more fun, modern stuff, I think, which is probably similar to a lot of families as well. So that's nice, yeah.
And speaking of some fun, modern stuff, I love that they give gag gifts. You would think that they would have these elaborate Christmas presents, which I'm sure they do, but they also have a little fun as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess like it kind of goes to like, what do you get the person who has everything? So the royals are said to give each other gag gifts for Christmas, which is really fun. And even though we don't get, a full report of what the royals give each other each Christmas, some of these stories have leaked out in the press and they've been kind of fun. A few years ago, back obviously before he met his wife, Meghan Markle, when one of Kate Middleton's early gifts to Prince Harry when she first officially joined the royal family was said to be a grow your own girlfriend kit, which was considered just like kind of really cheeky and funny, and everyone seemed to have a good laugh at that. And then other gifts, there's one that Prince Charles reportedly got from Princess Anne at one point, which was like a white leather toilet seat, which just sounds like an inherently funny gift. But apparently, as the story goes, he just really loved it, and it's, super comfortable and amazing. And he supposedly takes it on royal tours with him when he goes overseas. So it's like a gag gift that kind of almost became a really treasured gift in a way, which is a sweet story. I don't know if that's 100% true. Obviously, we're not getting this directly from the royals' mouths, but I like to believe that one's true. At least it's a fun one.
I believe that too. That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about luxury.
Yeah.
I know.
So what's on the Christmas menu for the royals?
The royals, food obviously for any family probably plays a pretty big part, and the royals are no exception. Their Christmas Day is supposed to kick off with a big buffet that happens before they go to church, and then when they come back for their main Christmas meal, the centerpiece is really like a delicious roast turkey, and they also have the traditional royal Christmas pudding, which is said to be like prepared a year in advance so it has time to mature for the following Christmas, which I just think is like amazing royal luxury. I love that. The royals also really know how to kick back and have fun on the holidays, and drinks and cocktails are always flowing and play a big part in their Christmas celebrations too. Queen Elizabeth is actually said to kick off Christmas Eve with a martini and a toast every year, which is kind of amazing. I love that she has traditional cocktails for different occasions, or at least is said to, which I just think sounds really fun.
Totally. That sounds amazing. But there's also like a who's in and who's out for the Christmas dinner, right? Because even though you may go to Sandringham doesn't mean you're going to sit at the table.
Correct. So the dining room at Sandringham is supposed to only seat about 24 people. And the Royal Christmas at Sandringham is a little bit of a smaller affair. It's really concentrated on the Queen's most immediate family, so her children and their families. But the children who come, like the really young children, we're talking like Prince George, Princess Charlotte, they are not invited to dinner. It's a very like formal black tie affair, and the kids, until they are old enough, there's no specific age, it's just kind of like old enough to know proper table manners. They actually enjoy their food up in the nursery and get to like kind of have fun as kids. The actual dinner group has to be a little bit smaller, but to make up for that, the Queen does host a Christmas luncheon before she leaves for Sandringham, and that can have up to 50 or so guests every year, and that's where she's able to invite some more extended family and just kind of expand that guest list a little bit to include more more relatives and friends.
Yeah, well, Kayleigh, thank you so much. We really appreciate you giving us so much insight into what a royal Christmas really looks like. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Christmas at the Royal sounds like a royal affair.
It does. And I would kill to see pictures of how they decorate inside for the holidays at Sandringham and everything. It must be glorious.
It must be absolutely beautiful. All right, well, let's move on to our royal history moment of the week. And if you wanted to bring some royal decorations into your home on Christmas, then you are in luck because the royal family is teaching everyone how to make a royal wreath. This is kind of cute.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's very shabby chic. It's a wreath that they've been making since apparently the late 18th century.
Yeah.
I guess that's when Queen Charlotte brought Christmas trees to Britain. So this is just a way to sort of pay homage to that, and it's really nice.
Yeah, and it's something easy that you can do at home.
Right. I love when the royal family dabbles in Instagram influencing. I think it's very exciting. So it's always nice to see them post a little arts and crafts video.
Totally. I love a good royal DIY. All right, well, before we wrap up, we have to check in on our pint-sized palace, and some eagle-eye fans spotted something very interesting in the background of Queen Elizabeth's office during a recent Zoom call, which was a never-before-seen photo of her 3 great-grandkids, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. You really got to look hard for this one. It's a blurry pic.
I know. I'm like, do I need to get my eyes checked? Because this looks like the video from The Ring to me. It doesn't look like people. I can't understand how they figured this out.
I don't either, but people are, they're investigative journalists. They really are. They really go all out. But yes, of course, even in a blurry pic, they look really cute.
Yeah, really cute. And it's nice that she knows how to give the people what they want. What we want is a little blurry picture that we've never seen before. It truly set the internet on fire. And thank you so much, Queen Elizabeth.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Molly, thank you for helping me break down all things royal, as always.
Thank you, Christina.
All right, for much more of the Royals, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com and check back for Royally Us every Wednesday on Us Weekly's YouTube channel at 10:30. So keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we will see you guys